Says it's crazy how motherfuckers don't need no proof to believe a lie, but need all the proof in the world to believe the truth.
Attention, player haters and overrated disbelievers of all kinds. I stand before you today 10 toes down as the bearer of bad news. Y'all done fucked up.
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer.
Alright, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. People would rather believe the lie. We live in a, not now. I'm talking like we live in a time now, like it's just now. But they used to say a lie can go around the world, can get around the world faster than the truth, basically. And because of technology and the information age, now that's double time. You get what I'm saying? And because of the gossip thing being a big thing, and people wanting to believe the worst about a person, or wanting to see the worst qualities in a person, even if they don't exist, people will believe a lie. And that whole, you're guilty until proven innocent has always been a lie. I mean, no, that part, no, I'm sorry. You being innocent till proven guilty has been a lie, but you being guilty, until you prove innocence is how it actually goes. So, my bad. And the thing about it is, the truth ruins so many relationships, it's not even funny. Because you've seen people lie to themselves so much and lie on a person so much that the lie is what they believe. And you've seen people so fixated on making a lie real that it became real to them. And sometimes you can convince other people around you that your lie was real. And since in society it seems like there is no actual consequences for lying on a person, you get what I'm saying? A person who got lied on, not if everybody, but if enough people believe the lie, they'll suffer the consequences of their lie. And the people who lied and believe it really don't, there is no real consequence to that. It's a, oops, my bad. I thought it was true. And then some people play the game of, I knew something was wrong about that. I just couldn't figure out what. And it's like, yeah, whatever. And then, like I said, a lot of relationships got ruined by the truth because sometimes people would rather live in a lie than live in the truth. So what winds up happening is you wind up in situations where you can't convince people that you're telling the truth. Like let me give some examples. I've had people in life who lied real dramatically. They're freaking out and sometimes having tears, and it's a whole production. And because of the hysterics, people believe the lie. It doesn't have to make sense. It can, it could be contradictory to itself, but because of oh my God, all of that, people go, yeah, it's got to be something that is true. It's like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then, Then there's people who kind of plant seeds of deceit and doubt because they really don't have anything to really work with, so they throwing bait out there, and if somebody decides to whatever bait they throw out there that somebody grasp onto, that's the lie they gonna run with. They'll be lying all the time. Oh, and and they did this and they said this, and it's like, no, I don't think they. And they kept going and kept going until they found something, and then, yeah, see, I told you, everything else that I lied about must be true. And now you have to prove that the person that lied on you is lying. And then there's a whole nother aspect to this that kind of gets hung out to dry, overlooked. And that aspect is it's hard to prove a lie. It's hard to prove the truth when somebody lied on you when you don't know who lied on you, for one, and you don't know the lie they told. So to get there, now you got to figure out what's the lie they told to prove that it's not true. And then when you got to go, who said this, people have this thing where they want to protect people's privacy even when they're lying, which you think you're how can I say this, having like a trusting circle with somebody, and you don't realize that, you wind up being in a circle of snakes. But the person that has to deal with it, they have to look at you, because there's a liar, there's a messenger, and there's a target, right? So the liar puts out the lie, the messenger spreads it, the target receives it. And unfortunately, the liar can have a team of people, the messenger can have a team of people, and the target can get hit by two different teams of people. And it's like, what are we talking about? That's why sometimes people have that confused, flustered look, like, what the is going on? Like, is this real? Because you're not walking around, let's just say, so on guard that you like, I gotta be prepared for, if these people lie on me, if these people lie on me, if these people lie on me, I gotta know my every move, every waking second of the day and night, and I gotta know what I said, what I did, who I talked to, who I did. It's not realistic. But unfortunately, if you get lied on, that's sometimes what it comes down to. You gotta backtrack your whole life to prove your innocence. And then, I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say this, but I don't have one. Then you have the thing where no apology can fix the damage that's done by somebody destroying your reputation. There's not an apology in the world that's going to suffice. The closest thing you're going to get is probably the person that lied on you and the people that were involved in the lie. If all of them publicly went and said, yeah, we all lied, and put themselves under that microscope of not being trustworthy again, which rarely happens. So that's a whole nother thing about it, because having to prove that you've been lied on, having to prove the truth when somebody lied on you, burns bridges. And sometimes people go on the attack because they believe the lie so much they went out on the attack, and that lie was just kind of like justification for it. And then when when the truth comes out, whenever it does, then the person's stuck. Like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have said and done all those things, but you can't take it back. And like I said, there's no consequences for it. So that's why sometimes people have a heart, just don't even want to talk, because it's like, really doesn't matter. Like, because sometimes people have their mind made up with a lie, and you don't even know what it is. So it's like, whatever, man. I'm guilty of whatever you got in your mind, even if it ain't true. But I'm done with this. I'm gonna leave it at that. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.